All right, let's see if it goes. This is always the part where I'm like, what if it doesn't work? Yay, we're live. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm so excited to celebrate hitting 1,000 subscribers, which is still wild to me, much less having an extended reading sprint because, boy, howdy, do I need to read because that's not a thing I've been doing. Like at all. Somehow I was like, I read 27 books this month. I'm just not going to read for a week. Logic, brain, no function. Head empty, no thoughts, for real here. So, yeah, we're going to chat about what we're reading. So, Tamika, do you have a book picked out?
Yeah, I'm going to read Sweet Temptation by Cora Riley. I'm going to listen to the audiobook while I finish my face.
And her new hair.
Yeah.
Everyone admire her new hair. It's glorious. It's short. She joined the short squad.
Yeah, that's all.
Yes.
Hold on.
Crystal. I know.
I'm reading One Good Earl Deserves a Lover by Sarah McLean. I'm about halfway through it.
I love her so much.
I do too.
She's just a fave. Megan?
She's great.
I have my Kindle. I have Before You Ghost because I got halfway through and then I was like, I'm not a fan, and I stopped, but I want to finish it.
Are you liking it?
No.
You're not?
Oh, no.
I was so excited when that dropped, and then Bree reviewed it 2 stars, and I was like, shit.
Yeah, it's like too silly, but I'm going to finish it.
And I just read like the silliest of sillies, so that's all right. I'm not going to read it then. Shay?
I'm reading Blacklisted by Jay Crownover. It's out on Tuesday. Catching up.
Yes. I just saw that cover again, and I was like,
oh, right?
So good.
He's a fine specimen of man on our cover.
Such a good cover.
Put it that way. So yeah, it's basically like cowboy meets motorcycle club in this particular one because the motorcycle club like president is getting his romance, and we've had him like in the series on the outskirts for a while, so I'm all for it.
Charles is out here already spewing slander in the chat.
Oh, Charles.
Charles doesn't like Sarah McLean? No. She's my favorite.
No, it's okay. Don't feel bad. No. Charles doesn't like anything, and Charles is going to get roasted in the next segment of this. When he comes on, we're going to have words.
I want Charles to read Brianna Hale because I feel like someone needs to bash her since I praise her so much.
I mean, I can do that for you if you ever mail me that book I'm supposed to mark up.
Listen.
Charles has left the chat.
Time, okay?
Oh, no.
What are you reading, Izzy?
Sorry, I had to reply to Charles. And make sure we talk about some Sarah J. Maas because he hates her. I'm going to finish Naughty Brits by Sarah McLean because I have 2 books sitting on my currently reading shelf since the end of September. And I'm bad, apparently. I've read a bunch of other books in between those books and just never went back to them. So I'm going to work on that anthology. The last story I read, I hated, so it made me stop reading them.
Which author was that? I think you told me.
Louisa Edwards. It had some really, really shitty ableism around like medicine and like being crazy. And it had some weird fat shaming in it that I just, it felt really out of touch compared to that, if that makes sense.
Everything you're saying is like, wow, that's very like,
it literally was
80s,
like
90s mentality.
Yeah, it was like, well, she only tried to attack me because she was off her meds. And I was like,
oh my gosh, really?
What?
Oh, wow.
What? What? Like, I was like, what did I just read? And then I like backed up and I was like, yep, okay, I read that. Yeah, it's bad. Holy shit. Charles is currently reading, just so everyone knows, is at over 100 books.
Charles.
What?
Please go clean that up immediately.
Like, seriously, like
30?
Yeah.
I want to come to your house to make you clean it.
I tend to not DNF, so I just like, I'll read it later, and then it just keeps going. So my Goodreads currently reading is at like 30.
Just make a shelf called Come Back to Later. And throw them there.
There you go.
That's what I did. That's what I did. I throw them there if I'm not gonna
I'm in denial. I'm never gonna finish half of them.
I haven't written any of my reviews for the week, so that's all that's sitting in my currently reading. They're usually things I finished. I just haven't written the review for.
Oh, I post it and then I review it later, like whenever I get to it. I'm at 2 right now, and that's me like forcing myself to finish these 2 books. But yeah,
I get
I
so
recommend
anxious.
reading Louisa Edwards' story in Naughty Brits.
Mm.
The other ones were good. Sarah McLeod wrote a great contemporary. I'm not gonna lie.
I heard that one was so good.
I was impressed. Not to say like you just don't know, if all you write's historical, like to come to contemporary is a little different, but
Yeah.
that was good. The premise of the Louisa Edwards story was great. The delivery was shit. Super disappointing. I'm still mad about it. Like I was just like, God damn it, why? You just want to love something. Everybody in the chat, what are you reading tonight for our first sprint? So we'll read for 40 and I'll post up the time here in a minute. We'll get going.
It's because you're married to an accountant.
What are you going to do when his job changes and he's not an accountant anymore? You're married to a former accountant.
That is correct. You're married to a man that knows how to math.
I am married to a man that knows how to math. That's why I married him. So I don't have to do the math.
Oh, that's my situation as well.
It works really well.
Okay, Charles, what you need to do is just go give the star rating and then it goes away.
Yeah.
If you don't feel like writing the review, just give the star rating and let it be.
I mean, I write like 2 sentences. I'm like, this was funny. This had pumpkin banging. Like,
I don't even do
The
that.
other thing I've started doing to save myself a lot of grief is if I talk about it extensively in a video, it's like, if you want more details, go here, and I link the video.
That's smart.
That's
I
smart.
literally just said I read
Cross
it.
promotion.
I don't even have star ratings on most of mine. I'm just like, it's done. Next.
That's me. I don't even leave star ratings half the time.
I had a guy yell at me on Goodreads because I wouldn't explain to him what was misogynistic in a book I read 2 years ago. And the racism in the book, I wouldn't break it down for him in my Goodreads review. And I told him to go watch the video, and he was like not having it. And then my other friend came in and she was like, just go watch the video and fuck off. Bree's collecting quotes of weird things I say, so feel free to contribute. Thank you, Bree. Thank you for teaching me I don't have a filter, which I was definitely convinced I had. Truly was convinced I had one, and then I realized I don't because Bree quotes the weird things I say in my videos back to me.
I need to read that one.
Smashing the Pumpkin King is pretty funny. Not gonna lie. Somebody said they're reading Frankie Love's You're My Boo. I liked that one, Rebecca. That was a good one. I don't know where it went. This one. This was a cute Halloween one. Insta Love, Friends to Lovers, goofy. Not too bad. All right. Shall we read? All right. Everybody mute your mics and we'll read for 40, guys.
Alrighty.
Not sure. All right. First sprint done. So, how did y'all do?
I have 15 minutes left.
I did good.
Weird book.
Is it is it a 2-star book?
I mean, I just read about a ghost teabagging another ghost on the side of a mountain.
Okay. Interesting.
That's interesting.
Yeah. All right. I felt like I'd read all the weird that I could ever read about Halloween, but maybe not. Maybe
I
not.
got 25 minutes into
Go ahead,
book that I
Shay.
was listening to.
That's not too bad. Shay, how'd you do?
Good. I got 20% into my book. It flies. That's the thing with Jake Corona was writing. It's so like easily accessible. It's not like dense, but it's still like detailed. So it's really easy to read. Even with the break to go kiss the husband, because there were 3 pages talking about kissing, and I wanted to kiss.
I love it.
So I ran downstairs, I got my kisses, and I
I
came
love
back.
it. That's
Perfect.
awesome.
What about you, Crystal?
Crystal, how is Sarah McLean going?
I love it so much, you guys. That's all. Like, I just love it. It's perfect. It was so cute. Like, there is so much buildup this far, and they haven't even kissed yet. But it's so good.
The slow burn angst. My
I love
audiobook
it.
right now is culty.
There's so much tension.
Ooh, I haven't read Colty. It's like one of the few ones I haven't read yet from her.
I haven't either.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I like instant.
Yeah. I think it has to be done like really well. Like, they've got to give you just enough like that it's coming without it just being completely like nothing, you know? Like, I like that. I like the sexual tension.
Right.
Very much. So good.
So far with Colty, like it's my least favorite Mariana Zapata so far, and I've read like 4.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Like it's not bad, but it's just not my favorite. The whiplash that I
I'm
get
reading
from
that one
Colty's
too.
like back and forth is a little much.
I agree with you there. Yeah. Like I'm reading that too right now. On audio.
I have to be in like the exact mood for her books.
Well, the thing is,
And
like,
it's a mood I don't have very often.
the Mariana Zapata that I read,
Instapot girl,
just
I want
before
banging on
this
the first page,
was
like
from Lukov with Love, and going from Lukov with Love
I like
to
that
Colty
one.
is kind of a bit much.
Mhm.
So I wish I'd read something else in between, and I think
Yeah.
I might have enjoyed Colty a little more. But going from
yeah.
my favorite Mariana Zapata so far to Colty was harder. But I've also read The Wall of Winnipeg and Me.
Yeah.
I actually really liked that one. I know a lot of people didn't, but I really enjoyed that one.
I liked that.
Yeah,
one.
I think that
And I'm
people
in-
either love
I'm
that
in
one or
kind of
hate
the
it.
love. I'm in
That's
the
my
love camp for
favorite
Wall
of
Winnipeg and Me.
hers.
And then the other one I read was The Best Thing, and I loved that one.
But I didn't love Lukov.
I haven't read that
Yeah,
one.
The Best Thing. It's one of those like
I haven't read that one either.
she found out she was pregnant after they'd been dating for a while, and he just kind of like disappeared. So there was no real closure for her. And so he finally like comes back to find her, finds out that she'd had his kid, and so it's about them kind of navigating all of that. And it's really interesting. It's because she didn't try to keep it a secret from him. He like stonewalled her. And I think that's why it was an easier sell for me.
Yeah.
When a woman chooses to keep it a secret from the guy, I struggle a lot
Yeah.
more, but she really tried to tell him. But he just like had an injury
Yeah.
from his sport. I
I
think he
agree
played
with you on
rugby, but he had an injury, and so he just like went silent
Yeah.
for like a year, blocked all his emails, his socials, everywhere she tried to reach him. He blocked everybody and changed everything. So she couldn't get a hold of him, but she did try. So I really liked that one. The way that all went together was really sweet, actually.
I I've heard good things about that. I've got that on my shelf right there.
Mhm.
I want to get to it soon.
Yeah. All right. I got like 3 more percent in. My husband called, of course, in the middle. He's traveling home right now, and he like called, and I told him, I was like, I'm doing this so I stay awake until you get home tonight. Otherwise, I would be asleep. I try. I just am not a late night person.
See, I'm
so
totally
like,
the
I'm
late
gonna do
night
this,
person, so my
celebrate,
sleep
and stay
schedule
awake.
is so off because the time change just needs to happen already. Because I'm already like staying up
Yeah.
later naturally and waking up later.
You're ready for it.
Hi.
Apparently
Yeah.
today was like daylight
Hi,
savings for
Charles.
Europe.
Hey.
I
Hey,
didn't know that.
Charles.
Hey.
Yeah, I'm not ready for this hour.
The fall
change
one's
to
always
happen.
easiest for me. The spring one I
It's
hate
already
every
so
time.
dark.
Oh yeah, losing an hour. Losing
Yeah, I
an hour
just-
just
That one's bad.
kills me.
But I only got 3% in because I got that phone call. So otherwise, it's been good. It's good. This one's better. The story is better
That's
than Naughty
good.
Grits. So thank goodness. I was just
That's
gonna
good.
skip it if I didn't feel. Pretty soon, I was like, I'm just gonna go straight to Sierra Simone and pure smut.
Yes.
You can never go
That's
wrong with
what we
Sierra
all want
Simone.
in life. Truly, I'm almost through her backlist.
Very nice.
And I'm like waiting because I don't want to rush through it. All right.
Right.
Do y'all want to start switching off here, or do you have any other comments on your books? Tamika, you need to go.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for joining me.
Tamika, I love your lipstick.
I need to go too.
Yes,
Bye.
looks turned out great.
It
And
was so fun. Thanks,
you. If
everybody.
anyone is looking for
Yay.
anyone
Congrats,
that's on
Izzy.
this, I have everyone's links in the description box. I went through and added that at the beginning before I forgot. So you can find people. But bye, y'all. Thank you for joining us.
Bye.
Thanks. That was fun.
Thanks.
Bye.
It was fun. See ya.
There's Bethany.
Hey.
Hey, Bethany.
Hello.
Well, I was not throw my Kindle.
No.
Definitely almost threw it. There we go. We're good. All right. We're just waiting on, I think Sarah's coming. And then I'll be everyone here. I'm so excited to read more. Maybe to roast
I'm
trials
here
a little
for the
bit.
duration because I have no life and
Whoa.
it's all good.
Roast you with love.
Yeah, I was like,
I don't think that's a
earlier than
thing.
8 doesn't work for me because my kids are still awake.
That's why I tried to do like 7 to 10. Like, because
Yeah,
I felt like 10 to 11 is too late.
it is.
Because I'm just tired.
Yeah.
I'm not staying up that late. But like I was like, oh, I'll start at 7. Like everyone else can kind of filter in as they want to, etc. It's not too bad. It's so hard. And then I feel bad because like anyone who watches me in Europe, like it's the middle of the night.
I mean, yeah.
That's why sometimes I'll do a live show like randomly on like a Sunday afternoon for my all my UK watchers. There's a
randomly.
big like
Yeah.
longer group in the UK that they love to watch my live streams, and so I
Mhm.
try to do one every so often.
Yeah.
that accommodates them, but
It's
Yeah.
funny. I have like a decent number of people in Australia who watch me. And so
Really?
like, yeah.
That's cool.
And so they're on a totally different like time zone too. Yeah.
Sounds on.
well, it's like
Yeah.
morning time there for them, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
In
like
the
12
chat.
hours.
And even if that doesn't affect you too much, as long as it's like on a weekend.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah, Jess said her kids would wonder, and that's hard.
Yeah.
I
Mine
just
are
have to
like
deal with the cat
almost
that jumps in
asleep.
front of me constantly.
Oh, yeah.
Angus just stays downstairs on his couch. He's like, I sleep the whole time you're
Aw.
not here.
That's convenient.
That's
He's
nice.
he's old.
Oh, that's
Literally.
why. Okay.
He's 10. No. Yeah, he's 10.
Hmm.
So he's an old man. He's like, I'll just sleep here.
He's like,
That
I'm grandpa's
asshole
dad,
over
and
there.
I'm gonna take a nap.
He's like 2, maybe. We don't know how old she is, but she's still energized.
Mhm.
She's
Yeah, my
still
cats
going.
are still pretty young. My Caledon, my black cat, is 6 years old. We've had him 6 years at
Oh,
least.
okay.
And then Light Song we've had for 4. Yes, both of my cats are named after Brandon Sanderson characters. I am just that person.
I was gonna say, wait a minute.
I was like, wait, I heard those names before.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was
so
like,
Caledon's
looked
from the
up
Stormlight
books, but I know
Archive.
these names.
And
Why do
then Light Song is from Warbreaker, which is my favorite Sanderson book.
I mean, that seems appropriate. That's
And I
funny.
think I think the draw for Warbreaker for me is it is much more centered around a political marriage than any of his other books. So it has that romance factor to it.
I like
and
a political
that
marriage.
feeds my soul in a really brilliant way.
I
I
can
do
see
like
that.
I just like I cannot commit. I will never read Sanderson. I was to say it. It's never gonna happen because I just feel like I would come out of it like I hate this.
Like his
Either way.
YA space series is actually really easily accessible. Like for fantasy,
Yeah.
his writing is very accessible.
I like his middle grade stuff.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
I read the
Like,
Riffnesses.
Oh. No, the
But, like,
Rick was
there's
like, is he ever going to release a sequel to it? I don't know.
I just gave up
It-
hope by now. Hey,
It's
Sarah.
planned out. It's just, he always has his hands in like 12 different series at the same time.
Yeah.
And
He
then
has
he's like,
to-
let's start a new
he's a
series right now. I'm like, you haven't finished this other one.
Yeah, I'm just excited for Stormlight 4 because
I just like I cannot commit to anything that big. Like I'm done with Outlander because I got through 2 books and I was like, I'm done. This is too much. I can't do it. I don't want to
Jen would
follow
not
this.
like that.
I'm the person who
Jen
can
would
commit
not like
to
that.
very long manga series and have no problems about it.
I mean,
I have
but that
no-
I can do that. Like I just
And I've
can't.
also done like all of the Side Changeling series in
I'm working on those. Those are a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah,
I think
that's
I'm
a
on
long
like
one.
book 8. I think I read 8 of them.
Yeah,
Okay, I do
Really?
say that.
I've
And I
even
don't
done
know
like
if I-
the
so
first
far.
3 in the Side Changeling Trinity series already. So I'm like 17, 18 books deep, and I'm still like thriving and living my best life. So
I mean, that's great.
I don't have commitment issues with the long series.
I can't. I don't know if I can say that because I finished all of IAD, but I've never finished any other romance series in full. Like that's that
Really?
long, right? That's like 16 books.
To be honest, like almost every romance series has like 10 or 20 books.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you go into paranormal. You go
Yeah,
straight
what
up
I
in there.
need
There's
to
like
do
20
is I
books
need
a
to go back
series.
through. There's a chunk of the Carpathian series in the middle that I haven't read. I read the first like 17 or 18 of those, and then I've read like the most recent like 10. But there's a chunk in the middle that I'm missing, so I need to go back and read the chunk in the middle.
Yeah. See, my problem too is like it takes me forever to catch up because I'm like, well, I want to read them all in order,
Mhm.
but I'm not. I don't know. We'll see. I
That's
do
the
like
great
that.
thing with Feehan, especially because he does them in like arcs. So you can read like this arc, and you don't really miss out on any characters. And so I've read the most recent arc I've read, and then the first like 18. So the arc in the middle is the one that I'm missing, and
That's smart though. Like
it is smart of
Yeah,
her.
that
She
is.
does like
It is.
a
incels
series like
of
that, I'll read it.
So yeah, the most recent one, I think the first book in this arc of the story is like Dark Carousel. Maybe the one right before that, but I think it's Dark Carousel is the first of like this most recent arc that I've been
I
reading in.
feel so behind on stuff because I only really started reading romance like 2.5 years ago. So
Same.
I'm not like oh, all
Same.
these things that people have been
Well, then
reading
there's
for
all these
years.
people who are like, "You haven't read the series yet." I'm
I
like,
know.
I know it's
Oh,
like panic inducing.
I
Yeah.
read so widely that I haven't read everything. That's
Yeah.
the problem.
Yeah. And I'm reading a lot of romance. I mean, romance is like my most read genre now this
Yeah,
year.
same here.
But I
Same.
still, I'm
Same.
just like,
That's genre. That's why.
It's a romance and manga year for me because 2020 has been the ultimate crapper.
Yes.
So I want all the
I-
things that make me happy.
I
Yeah.
100% agree. They're so easy to get through.
that's true.
Mhm.
It's like romance, and I've been on a big gothic kick the last
Yeah,
few months.
I've been on the gothic
Ooh.
kick with you. Like I'm letting you read all of them, and I'm like, okay, what did Bethany? I'll
I'll
read
tell
that
you
one
what
and
to
that
read.
one.
Yeah, it's fun.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi.
Sorry, I just threw you in mid conversation.
No, you're fine.
So I caught the tail end of the Verity live show. That was a discussion.
In my opinion,
Ooh,
very
I love Verity.
fire, but we won't go there.
I still don't know if I should
hated
read
it.
it.
I love
From
Verity.
what they were saying, I would say no. I'm not
I've
going
heard
to.
people that I know people love it. I've not read any Colleen Hoover because of some of what I've heard about her, and I'm like, I feel like I would not like her books for the most part, but
Mhm.
The two that I read by her, both of them I did not like, and one of them was Maybe Someday, but I just couldn't get past the cheating aspect. and how it was like supposed to be a romance, and like the whole thing is like no.
I hate
Yeah.
that. No.
Sarah,
No.
I
Like,
feel
no,
so
I
bad.
think this
Like
is an author I don't need to read.
I read the whole Maybe Someday series, and it didn't take me until we got the other girl's POV of the first book. That's like, wait, the first book was cheating. Like I was, I just ignored it so hardcore because I was like, I'm loving this, and then I read that book. I'm like, wait, what? I was like, they
Yeah.
mostly cheated for like the whole. I was like,
Yeah.
No.
I mean,
I
nothing
need to
physical. It
rethink
was all.
things.
It was mostly emotional cheating, but it was still
No.
cheating as far as I'm concerned,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
I hate that, and I hate it when they try to make the spouse like a bad guy, so you feel like it's okay.
To make
Like,
it
this is
justified.
So
yeah,
you feel
like
it's
they're
okay,
a bad
yeah.
guy, and this is the real person they're supposed to be with, and I'm like,
Yeah.
well, then break up with them, or like
That's my problem. Like, why
Why
don't we
would
just
you
break
divorce
up?
them, like,
Yeah.
or at least be in the process of a divorce before you meet the
Yeah.
person? Like,
Yeah.
come on,
Something.
draw the
Yeah.
line a little more clearly here.
I'm
It's
like,
just so
also,
hard.
you're gonna like, what baggage are you bringing into this new relationship? Like, you
Mm-hmm.
probably need some therapy. Like, you're not
Yeah.
ready for this.
It's the worst. Like, oh, I hate cheating in books. I read Colleen Hoover in my early romance journey, which started over 10 years ago now. And I not really gone back to her at all because not to say she feels like early romance, but she does. Like, I feel like she's that introductory point to the genre for a lot of people, which is okay. Like, there's nothing wrong
Maybe
with
that's
that.
why I have a problem with her, because I've been reading romance for 25 years. So
Exactly.
for me to
And I
go
think
into
some of her plots are
yeah.
very juvenile to appeal to
Yeah,
that
yeah.
base, which is like not a bad thing. I'm not complaining at all.
No,
Like,
no, but it's a good,
you know.
it's a good introduction, as you said,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah. It's a good
Plus, I
gateway.
went through a book of it and I hated it. I thought it was the worst book of it I've ever attended. So there's also that. Now I just don't read.
Fair enough.
I also think a lot of like, especially like fantasy readers who are dipping into romance, started out with things like Twilight or Sarah J. Maas, and those are kind of gateway romances for a lot
Yeah.
of people too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that they're the best things ever written, but I am trash and I love them anyways.
Why
'Cause
every
sometimes-
live show she must be named?
Are you
Every-
anti SJM? Is that what?
Oh,
is
we
that-
must troll. Yeah, we always have
it's
to
my
talk about Sarah J.
it's my
Maas around
brand at this
Charles.
point.
That's so funny. Look, I enjoy Sarah J. Maas
I do too.
as a
Like,
fantasy
I
romance
honestly-
writer.
I
Yeah.
would rather
Stephanie
read her than
Meyer
Colleen
is
Hoover.
not. I'm not a fan of anymore. But Sarah J. Maas,
Right.
you know.
If I'm ever going to revisit the Twilight series, it is going to be Midnight Sun because Edward is a lot less obnoxious to read from, even though he's a creepy stalker vampire. He will always be a creepy stalker vampire. I'm not justifying his behavior. He's a vampire. He's not going to act like a human.
Right. But also, like,
So-
how many times can you mention pomegranates and Hades and Persephone in one book?
Yeah.
I know. That was like
Oh
my
my-
biggest struggle. Because I am in the camp of loving Hades and Persephone lore, and Persephone has her own strength. Like,
Mhm.
Right.
the fact
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
he
No,
was,
I.
like, trying to be a victim while saying
Yeah.
he's Hades is like, excuse me, sir. No, that's not how this works.
Right. No,
Heather
but like with
just
that,
captured
but
the whole
literally
thing
with
about
Midnight
Charles.
Sun, it's like if you had any doubt that this was a Hades and Persephone retelling, she will tell
We're
you and
kind of
tell you and
beat
tell
over the
you.
head with it. And I won't deny that that was one of the book's biggest flaws.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's all of them, but it's one of them.
No, but yeah.
Mm.
That woman needs her writing taken away from her. Just ban her. She's
The
done.
thing is,
How
like,
many times is she gonna rewrite Twilight? I wonder if she's gonna do the same to New Moon. Because she did the gender swapped one, and now Midnight Sun.
I just
Who's
think like
next?
the only good thing to come out of Twilight is the fan fiction writers that came out of Twilight and now write
Yeah.
amazing romances
uh-huh.
because I love them. Because they took something that had nothing.
Somebody is asking about the host in comments. I read the host. I liked the host. I mean, it was many years
The Host
ago that I read
bad.
it, but I
didn't watch
liked
the
it.
movie.
It wasn't like, you know, it was an average middle of the road book. It's not anything to like write home about, but it's not
It was
Like-
enjoyable. I mean,
super bad where you would hate read it either.
no,
Like,
no.
it's
no.
a great middle of the road love triangle with space elements kind of
Yes.
story.
Mhm.
That's
Yes,
the easiest way to
that's
describe it.
that's exactly what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, she's doing like 3
Funny.
more books, I think,
I know.
Twilight.
I'm nervous that
Really?
she's gonna do like a Renesmee book with like
Oh.
Jacob. I'm like, people
Yeah,
are
please
saying they think she
don't.
might. I'm like, please don't.
No.
Please
I'm,
don't.
I'm just really interested. I
Mark,
want to see how that
no.
turns out. I will read the book.
Oh my god.
You'll read
You know
before
what
us?
I would do like a backstory on some of the other Cullens could be interesting, like prequels.
honestly,
I can
where
see
is
that,
a
yeah.
Carlisle book? I
Yeah.
want a Carlisle book.
Yeah.
He is one
That
of the
would be
most
interesting.
interesting characters in the whole series to me. Give me a Carlisle book. I would read the snot out of a Carlisle book.
I mean, I think that could be interesting. Whether she would do it justice, I don't know. That's the thing, is she's
don't know.
created these characters that I feel like have so much potential, and sometimes I feel like she does a disservice to them. Sometimes I'm like,
Mhm.
Yeah.
I agree. Like I think that's
It's almost one of those things where I wish it was like manga, where like somebody creates a world, but then they like consult as somebody else writes stories in that world for them. That's what I need to happen.
yeah,
bet.
yeah, I can see that.
Where she can consult and say, "Yeah, all this looks great. Let's go for it." But it's like better written
Let's
and
do
not
like the
toxic
expanded
and-
universe, like Star Wars. Like she could write, other people write in her universe, like Penny
Yes.
Reed
I would
does.
love that.
Somebody
Yeah.
else.
They should do that. She should do that.
I would read an Emmett book. I'm not gonna lie. If there's an Emmett book, I'll read it.
Like,
I like my dumb.
Yeah,
but
he
at the
was
same
the
time, I
best
feel like
part of
Midnight Sun was kind of an Emmett book too.
He was the
because-
best part of Midnight Sun.
He's the best
He was-
himbo ever. Okay, like he's great. I love him.
Yeah,
It's true. He's a total cinnamon roll, and I love him to pieces. He's
I love
always been a
cinnamon roll.
favorite.
Yeah.
Shay, are you gonna be reading the same book? I take it.
Yes, still reading Blacklisted by Jay Crownover and loving it.
Charles, what are you gonna read?
I'm reading Don't Laugh at the Title. The Stepbrother with Benefits.
Oh, I want to know everything. What's
When you
read
preface
it.
it like that,
Like, I'm okay with step sibling romances as long as they weren't like raised together. If they become step siblings as like teenagers, like I'm
Yeah.
all for it.
I'm okay
it's
with
the
that
second.
too.
It's the second.
Okay.
Not the first.
Okay.
Not the first.
Okay. Interesting. Sarah, what are you gonna read?
I'm actually going to be finishing up The Witches of New York by Amy McKay, which is a historical fiction fantasy.
Ooh,
It's really good.
Ooh,
I'm
that
getting
sounds
very much
interesting.
practical magic vibes from it, but the movie, not the book, because the book was crap, as far as I'm concerned. The movie was fantastic.
Awesome.
It's really fun, and I'm not a fantasy reader, but I'm really liking it.
that sounds like all sorts of things that I want. I'm definitely tuning into your wrap up on that one.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that'll be tomorrow.
Yeah, same. Bethany.
So I am trying to get through a reread of Where Dreams Descend by Janelle Angelis.
So I need to read that one.
It's so good. I really love it.
wanna
It's
read that.
inspired by Moulin Rouge and Phantom of the Opera. It's why
Which are like two of my favorite things in this universe, which is why
So,
need to
I mean,
read
you
it.
would love it. You'll probably love it, Shay. Seriously, you need to read it. But yeah, so I'm halfway through a reread. I have other stuff for review, so I keep putting it off. So I'm trying to actually like finish my reread. It's been like 2 months now. So
I keep needing to read that, and then distraction.
it's great,
By
and it's
romance
got like a
books.
strong. It's got a strong like dark romance feel to it, though. Like I actually think you would like it. It's
I think I like everything
like
I've heard.
YA
Hold
dark,
up.
not like dark, but yeah.
You said dark
It's good.
romance, so I'm gonna read that.
Yeah.
It's probably got Sarah J. Maas vibes, Charles. You'll hate it.
No.
No, it's
I don't
really
think
good.
Yeah,
It's
I
really
know.
good. Like if like Phantom of the Opera, Moulin Rouge, with like, but like the Phantom, that like there's that that relationship element of like a Phantom type character with
Ooh.
our heroine, and she's like the badass female magician. It's great. It's a really good book.
So I have a weakness for Phantom of the Opera stuff because I tease my husband. He apparently dressed up as the Phantom one year for Halloween as a child. And I
I'm
think it's hilarious.
thriving. Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
I
Love it.
don't
Like
think it's
I've read the
point.
Phantom of the Opera in its original French. Like Phantom of the Opera is my crap.
Yeah, I will say I don't think it was his
How I've
story.
not
You
read
need
this yet, I
Shay,
don't
how
know.
You need to
have you
read that.
not read this yet?
The
You
only
need to read it.
reason is
Oh my
because
God.
I don't own a physical copy yet. As soon as I buy a physical copy,
You
I'm gonna read
need
it.
to you need to read it. It's so good.
Find that immediately. But yeah, so I always
Part of me is waiting for somebody to give up that really beautiful Owl Crate copy because I was really
Look,
sad. I didn't find
I-
out about it until after.
Well,
was so sad.
so a friend sent it to me, like, which I was just like, seriously, thank you so much. So,
Yeah.
'cause I didn't order it either. It's It's beautiful.
Oh
Yeah.
wow. Yeah, that's pretty.
Yeah.
I just pulled it up because I was like, I need to see this closer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people are insane. Okay, yep. Sometimes I look at subscription box book price and I'm like, what? Okay, yep. You're gonna try. Okay, I mean, all right, make your money, I guess. Pay for the box and then some. One book blows my mind every time. But all right, I'm gonna continue with my novella since I only got like 3% in since I got my phone call, but should be good. We will read until 8:54ish, and then
Okay.
we'll chat again about our books.
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
Right.
Hello, hello.
Hey.
Charles, you've got to read Gail character. Oh my God, words.
So
I
good.
completely agree.
She's so good.
I really
I still
like her
need to
stuff.
read the Custard Protocol, but I
really
love
is.
all the others.
I need to finish them. I just,
Yeah,
yeah. I
I've
don't
kind
know
of
who I
lost
thought
steam
Tessa
on the
Gratton
new ones.
was. I had her mixed up with a completely different author.
So she writes YA and adult fantasy.
Okay.
Like
just-
she
I
wrote
don't
The
know.
Queens of
I think I thought she was
Innisfree.
Natalie C. Parker.
That's her wife.
Is that
And
it?
you
Is
write
that what?
James Grace as well.
Yeah, Natalie C. Parker is her wife. And they're also good friends with
There
Sierra
you go.
Simone.
I knew that. I just was like, why do I think that you're this off? That's why. Wow, I feel real dumb.
It's okay.
I was like losing my mind. I'm like, why do I know her? It's all the book I recognize. Yeah. How is everyone's reading?
Good.
Shay?
I got
Did you
like
get further?
another 15% in.
Nice.
It's so good.
Yeah.
We got the first like
What a good book.
smexy scene, and it was glorious. Not in the shower, but shower adjacent. We'll put it that way.
Awesome.
That sounds fun. Charles,
Yeah,
how was
so
your
good. I got
super taboo book?
I think you're
It was
muted.
pretty tame.
Cannot hear Charles. Is that just
Did
me?
you
Can you hear me
unmute
now?
the mic?
I realized
It's
that
pretty
my
tame.
mic was off.
That's disappointing. Yes.
Uh-huh.
It was pretty tame. It wasn't. It's safe-ish. It's only a novella. It's audio. It's only like 2
Safe-ish?
hours long. Yeah. It was
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I was really hoping it was going to be like real steamy and like delightfully awfully dirty.
No, sorry.
That
Nope.
title doesn't hold up.
I was
Disappointing.
disappointed too, but it was good for
Sarah,
what it was.
how's your cross stitch going?
Good. I have to take a break though. It starts to hurt my elbow. I'm holding the but I finished my book. So literally just
Nice.
as you were saying it was done, I was like, this has been an audible production.
That's like,
Love when that happens.
Well, it's 14 and a half
Great.
hours on audio. So it was a long go, but it's a good book. 4 stars, I'd say.
Good.
I'm excited for your wrap up to hear about it. And how is your reading going, Bethany?
Good. I'm liking it. I made a little progress on it, and yeah, you all should read it. Seriously, it's very good.
It's very high on
I'll
the
put it
list
on
to
hold
pick
for the
up, I
library,
promise.
like, right after this.
It's always interesting with books like this, reading them the second time around when you know what's going to happen. Like it's such a different experience because you pick up on the
Because you
like
pick up on a lot
clues.
more.
Yeah, because this one has a lot of big like reveals and twists and turns and stuff. So yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I've got I think about 3% more into my book, and I definitely thought they were banging on the street and was very confused for a second. She literally ran out of the pub to go get it, like to go like kiss him, and I was like, okay. And then I was like, wait a minute, you're in the middle of the street, and you're groping ahead. Where are you? I missed that we'd moved locations slightly more than I thought we had. So, thank you guys so much for hopping on with me. Those of you that were on this hour of the spread, I really appreciate it.
Congrats.
I figured it was just something to do on Saturday. I personally have no
congrats.
life, so I'm like, who else wants to have an exciting Saturday night?
It's great. It's fun.
I'm gonna start adding everybody else, and
Really?
then we'll swap out. And yeah, if anybody wants to find anyone on, be sure to check the description box. I did link everyone down there that has been on so far. And if I missed you, like yell at me in DMs, please and thank you, because I did my best. Okay, it was a big list. Hello.
Hi.
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 No.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Ashley, what are you doing? I saw you with some sticks. Are you crocheting? Are you knitting? Are you?
Crocheting. I can't knit, but I can
Yes, I
crochet.
love crochet.
Yeah.
I can knit, but I
See,
can't
I
crochet.
know.
So.
I can only loom knit,
Right.
and I haven't crocheted in years. I should probably try that again.
I learned.
My
I
husband
can do both. I just prefer
I learned-
crochet.
Yeah, I learned how to knit on 2 pencils at like sleepaway camp. I'm not even joking.
Oh, fun.
Nice.
And they never taught me how to
Nice.
pick up a drop stitch. So by the time I got home, my like pot holder was started this and it was like, and I was like, well, forget this.
My mom tries, and
I
I
love
try to crochet, but all
I
my
love it.
stitches are too tight because I'm like too. I can't. I just can't. Yeah, I can't. I can't like
The tension
myself,
is
so
too
I stick
much.
to embroidery and cross stitch. But I like. I wish I could knit. I wish I could knit. But it's never
Honestly,
gonna
doing
happen.
it on a loom
Or
helps me
crochet.
a lot. Like loom knitting for like a blanket or a scarf.
I learned how to knit all through YouTube. I'm completely
Really?
self-taught as a knitter. No one taught me. Everything was everything.
Maybe that'll be the next hobby I pick up. Okay.
Do it.
Okay, okay.
If you can crochet,
My
you
mom
can
does
knit.
both.
Yeah.
I'm just not good
Yeah.
at it.
By craftful, as we like to say.
Well, good with sticks. But yeah, she does. But I don't know how. I like my cross stitch embroidery. I've got
I
to
cross
get.
stitch too.
Mhm.
My moods change, so my crafts change.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
I
It's
have to
true.
resist the new craft hobby because that's dangerous. You're like, oh,
Which
the
one's
new
that?
craft hobby? I can go buy all the things.
Yeah, exactly. Something catches your
I
got
got
Oh, I
bored
like
at the
that
beginning of
like
quarantine,
thing.
and I started flower beading. So like this was my newest craft.
Oh, pretty.
Wow.
Nice.
So that's like wrapped around my mic stand now.
Maybe I want a flower bead.
Have y'all seen the diamond painting that people do?
Yes.
Yeah.
I would get so
Yeah.
addicted to that. That's, the only
That's why I
one.
didn't do it, Shay. I was like,
Same.
no, because it was a couple of times I kept going on the internet and I would put it in my shopping cart and I was like, Ashley, don't do it. Don't do it.
I got a
And then
tiny
you
one,
spiral.
and I love it. But I don't like any of the art available.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
And the few I do like are like so expensive. I'm like, I'm not doing this.
Mhm.
Just not doing it. So I did one. It was fun, and I was like, I'm good. And I might do a paint by numbers this winter, maybe.
Oh,
Honestly, one of my favorite apps, what I love to do is I love to pull up, it's called Happy Color. It's like a color by number
Yes.
app.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
I do that and listen to audiobooks. Like,
Shay,
I have
don't do
read
it
so
to me.
many audiobooks this month. It's
Oh, yeah.
wonderful.
Do it to me.
Is that the one where you can like double tap in a big chunk and it'll just like autofill?
There's a little like idea button in the
Yeah.
top,
Yeah.
and it'll like show you where, if there's like a little tiny itty bitty piece you missed. But mostly it's just
Right.
by number. You click on the number and then you like tap on
Right.
where.
There's one called
I-
Dazzly that is like the
Mhm.
diamond painting with gems, and I like that one a lot.
There's a cross stitch one too that I found.
Oh, there is. Oh no!
Yeah. Pretty awesome.
Don't tell me that, because I was considering picking up more cross stitch again. So I'm like, oh no, I could deep dive that. But I just did the paid version of Happy Color, so I could do as much as I want whenever I want. So I just go to town on
Yeah.
that
Mhm.
because I paid like $3 or $4, I think, for the paid version. It's not very expensive at all. But man, like the mandalas are like so soothing. I do that like at night when I'm winding down for bed. I'll listen to my audiobook and just Happy Color, and life is good. Unless I'm reading.
All of the cross stitch patterns I have currently are kind of complicated. And so it's like 2 here and then like count 4 over and up 1 and then do 2 more. And it's like, I don't have any big chunks that I can just kind of like,
And that's
Mine
like the
would
best
be
part
go,
of cross stitch,
yeah.
like that huge chunk where you're just like
Yeah.
the same color for.
right.
I have one that just says, can I curse on here?
Yeah, you can cuss.
Okay, I have one that just says fuck, and it's like hanging behind this backdrop.
Nice.
Love it. Perfect.
We love to see it.
You know, I have no filter. You're good.
Okay.
Oh, I've heard of paint by
Literally.
stickers too. I bought those for the library. It's another thing. I bought them for the kids that I work with, and I was very tempted to open up a pack for myself one day at work, and I was like, let me not do that.
For the kids. We bought it for the kids.
I have to keep right?
So,
Because
but,
when I
soon
shop
you can be
for
like,
the kids,
this is for baby girl, and I
Yeah.
can play with it too.
we're not going to even talk about that.
This craft was purchased for the patrons at the library. I better demonstrate it and get a couple examples for when the patrons come. Oh, we're out of supplies. Oh.
I love it.
I went and bought origami paper because I was like, oh, they can learn how to do origami. And I was like, but do they, or do I just want to learn?
I have a friend of mine who just made a bunch of origami cranes and like used it as decoration in her bathroom near her library.
That's cool.
It's like crazy
Yeah.
impressive.
I mean, I feel like kids would want to do origami.
Yeah, kids love origami. You just have
Yeah.
to make it really, really simple origami because they don't listen. And then you are there folding all of their papers together. I
Never
know this from
listen.
personal experience.
Never
like, do
listen.
this. And they're like, why does my paper
I'll be
look
right back.
like just a crumpled ball? Like, I don't know.
I always get mad at origami and I end up crumpling it and throwing it. Every time. Like halfway through, I'm like, I hate this. Like my ADD kicks in and I'm just like, I can't do this anymore. I have to walk away. Like it's just, it never works. My brain does not like, it's like, no.
Have you guys seen the paper? I think it's called quilling. It's like little teeny scrolls of paper that like are then shaped into a pattern.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
gorgeous.
I've seen those.
That's crazy.
That's too much patience.
Yeah.
I feel like it's kind of that thing you could do a lot while you watch TV or listen to a book though.
Probably.
Yeah.
That's all my crafts are. They're just vehicles to allow me to consume more books.
Yep. Yep.
What's the title that you're working on, Izzy?
Naughty Brits.
Oh yeah.
It's the
Is that the anthology?
Yeah. So far, 2 have been good. This one's okay. It's her debut romance, though, so I feel like it's hard to debut a romance like in a novella, like your first ever like, full-blown romance. So that's interesting. We'll see. I really want to get to Sarah Simone's because apparently it's real filthy and a lot of fun. We'll see if I can finish this first one at least. But all right, Shay, you're still reading Blacklisted, I'm assuming.
I actually think I'm going to change it up. I think I'm going to read a volume of manga instead. So this is The Witch and the Beast, Volume 1. So it's a new series that I'm really curious about, and the art is really pretty. So
I'm already
ready
into
to
the
dive in.
title, so I want to know about it.
Oh, I promise. I will tell you everything.
Yes.
Make me buy more manga. My manga comes Monday. My big order. So
I have not read manga in like years. I want manga.
I will tell you
channel.
anything you want to know. Because even if I don't read it, I'm probably aware of it.
She'll just send you in a rabbit hole, which is what's happened to me now.
To
Plus
you
the
and to
library
Tamika, and I'm just corrupting the romance world with manga, and I'm okay with this.
I love it.
And yeah, my library, thank goodness, has a decent selection to order from. So / we'll get them from all around me.
I'm really jealous because my library just won't bring it in. I live in too conservative of a state.
Mm-hmm. I mean, mine's coming from all over South Carolina, which is impressive.
Really?
Well,
Are you?
Yeah. I got books from Anderson County, Lancaster County. I was like, what? I got it from counties I did not expect it from.
Like Anderson and Lancaster, though? I wouldn't expect that either.
Yes, but in conservative Utah, everybody thinks manga is porn unless they've actually read it. So they're not going to put it in the library, which really sucks.
Oh, we have a county here that's like that too. So I'm not surprised.
They have like a few volumes of Sailor Moon, a few volumes of Naruto, and a few volumes of the Pokemon manga. That's it.
Yeah, they wouldn't. They voted against even having what was it? I think 50 Shades. They voted against having 50 Shades in their collection because they refused to have erotica, even though it is a public library and these people are paying their tax money. But I'm not going to get into that.
Next to a county when I was in middle school and Harry Potter was big, that was burning the Harry Potter books in Michigan.
Wow.
So-
I
A
live in
library?
Texas. I'm good.
No, not the library, but like that town. Like people
Ooh.
were buying the books at a church to burn the Harry Potter books.
Wow.
And I just remember, like, I'm like little, and I was like, "Why are you giving them money to burn the books?" That was my logic as a child. I was like, "What? Wait, they're spending money to burn these books?"
You might as well just go ahead and burn your dollar bills. Why it?
It was a super it was like a Dutch town, so there were some weird thing of that, and I was like, I don't what. So then I moved south, and I was like, oh, the Baptist, I get this. Okay. I get the wild Southern Baptist. I'm like, this is fine.
Southern Baptists, they're out of control too.
Oh yeah. There's
They
something.
out of-
There's something.
I remember here when I was in college, there was it may still be in place, y'all, about not selling. It is still in place, I think. Liquor stores are not open on Sundays. You can only buy beer at the grocery store.
Here too.
Same here.
Yep.
That's
I
a
said,
statewide.
The Bible Belt.
Yeah. That's in that county. Like, we didn't live in that county. We lived in a different one in Michigan. They banned the sale of beer and wine on Sundays, but you could get a margarita.
Priorities.
They messed up the law. So I remember I was in middle school, and like we went somewhere, and like obviously my parents were like, oh, we'll get it. Then they're like, oh, we can't do that, but we can give you this hard liquor.
Okay, sure.
Because that makes complete sense.
I was like,
Loopholes in the law. You gotta play with the loophole.
It was just great. I was like, this makes no sense. It's a weird little freaking town in Michigan. What are y'all doing? Mess. Sarah, what are you gonna read now?
I'm gonna start a nonfiction book because I'm in the mood for one. So, American Witches: A Broomstick Tour Through 4 Centuries.
Ooh.
So, history of witchcraft, and because this is right in my wheelhouse for sure.
It sounds
very
In America.
I'm gonna add that to my TBR. Also in my wheelhouse.
Other people call them Halloween decorations. I just call it home decor.
The partner comes home. He's like, "Where'd that come from?" And I'm like, "It's fine. Isn't Halloween? That's not a Halloween decoration. It's fine."
No.
Yeah, when like my husband said last year. So we're gonna go to the spirit store and pick up a few things for around the house. I said, correct.
Exactly. It's perfect. Laura, what are you gonna read?
Take a hint, Danny Brown.
Woo! We love
Nice.
Danny Brown.
I still need to read.
Zap is totally my book boyfriend. I don't care what anybody says. I love him.
Izzy,
We
don't
don't
feel
wanna
bad.
talk
I still haven't read Good of Life, Chloe Brown.
What? Oh, I've read that one. I haven't read the other
Oh,
one.
I read that one not long ago.
Yeah,
That's
it's
why I
so
haven't read
fun.
it.
I've been hearing more love for Danny than I have for
I love Danny
Chloe.
more than I love Chloe. If I'm
Okay, I
honest.
might have to check it out.
I started it right at the start of September
mean,
and got maybe 20 pages
she's-
in, and then it was like, a slump is coming. I better stop. So, because I didn't want the slump to affect my reading of this. So,
Yeah. It's one of those things where she's a total bicon and she like has little witchcraft things that she does. She loves her crystals, things like that. Like she is just I just love Danny. Danny is the kind of person that I enjoy. And then Zap is just the softest little cinnamon roll ever. I love him with like so much of my being. It's not even funny. He is very much like my own husband. So I just love him. He's my book
I
boy.
can't wait. He sounds like my favorite.
You would love him. Mhm.
And
What are you reading, Ashley?
sorry, someone asked what book Sarah was reading, so I was trying to type that up.
So I think I'm going to go back and forth between two. So I'm listening to, or have been for the past week, binging a reread of the Addicted series by Krista and Becca Ritchie. And then last night I started this manga series.
I love Stereo.
So I started
I have
this
them
last
all like
night.
right here.
It's pretty good. I read a little bit more. When I first read it, I was like, I don't know what to think, but I read a little bit more and I'm really enjoying it. So hopefully I'll finish that one tonight.
It's cute. It's not like my favorite manga series ever, but it's really cute and I really enjoy it.
Okay.
I might have to go get my manga. Maybe I won't read my story.
Not you're getting peer pressured.
Sorry.
Like I read 27 books already this month. I was like, I gotta finish these books I have on my currently reading for a month. Like, but I'm also not enjoying one of them that much. So maybe I just move on.
I like that plan. If you don't like it, just kick it.
It's usually what I
And
try to do.
honestly, with short story collections, like they're so hit or miss for me. I rarely.
They are. I buy them a lot and I don't always read them. Or I read like the one author I like and then move on. So I think I might actually skip ahead and just read Sierra Simone's and then call it a day. Again, the bad one just put a really bad taste in my mouth is basically what happened. It was like I was super into it and I was enjoying it. And then I read the one and I was like, this is so bad. Like I cannot.
You don't have to DNF it. You could just press pause.
Well, and it's like, I'm not going to DNF it because I'll have read most of the book, so it counts. I have to beat my mom, guys. I'm so close. Like, I'm so close. I'm like 5 books behind her right now, so it's coming.
My mom doesn't read.
Spend a few hours on a Sunday reading manga. You'll catch up. It'll be fine.
I was just about to say that.
No, that's the plan. She was like, "You're taking this very seriously," and I was like, "I'm very competitive, mom." And she's like, "I know." She's like, "I'll just stop reading." I was like, "If you stop reading, it doesn't count."
It has to be fair.
I was like, it has to be fair. This can't, I just can't believe she's read 260 some books this year. And I'm just like, what?
My number is astronomical this year. I've never read this much in a year.
I haven't
Shay, how much have you read?
I might have last year, but I've like stopped tracking midway through the year. I'm over 600.
What?
This year?
Wow.
You and Charles.
Between all the manga and the books, it adds up fast.
The manga does add up fast because I read 11 volumes of just one manga in like 2 days.
And it fed my soul. You have no idea.
I'm dying for my box to come on Monday so I can read more. That's the only reason I haven't finished The Promise
I just
Neverland.
need to read volume 26 and then we can chat and
yes,
fangirl forever. I love that volume so much.
Oops, I did not mean to delete that. I hate when it makes me reset. Megan, what are you reading?
I'm reading How to Date Your Dragon, which was on my PNR TBR, and I was like, nope, I want to start it now.
Then start it now.
And yep, that's what I'm doing.
All right, I'm gonna go get manga after we start. So
yes.
All right, let's read for 40. I'll set the timer and get down to it. I gotta beat my mom.
I believe
so
in
close.
you.
5 books. All right, we can all mute. All right. We did it. We did it. We read mangas.
That was
We
glorious.
converted people in the chat to manga. We got them interested. So, just a whole world opening up.
So what were you reading, Miss Izzy?
I went and grabbed My Brother's Husband.
I still need to read that one.
It's on my list.
I got this volume 1 and 2. It's very cute. I mean, it's sad because obviously you're dealing with the homophobia and what is basically a non-existent
And grief and loss on
culture
top
for
of that.
anyone who's queer in Japan. Yep, on top of grief and loss. But it's really cute. The kid's pretty cute too. The little girl in it. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it a lot. I'll probably be done after this. I'm gonna finish it up real quick, but it's big. I didn't realize when I picked it up, I was like, oh, that's a big one. It's a chunky boy manga. So it's good though. I think it's gonna be a 5-star or a 4-star at the very least. I will be surprised if something happens and it's not. It'd have to be quite the twist from where we're headed right now. So, Shay, how was your manga?
It was really, really good. If you can handle a little bit of gore, this is definitely going to be a good title, and it's definitely witch hunters, and it gets dark. It goes places. So if you like dark and can handle a little bit of gore, this will be right up your alley. I'm not sure I will continue it, however, just because my gore factor, what I can handle, is pretty dang low, and so I don't think I want to invest in an entire series where I could read the next volume and hate it. So I don't want to do that, but this character right here is actually really interesting. They are not as they appear. That's where the beast part comes in. That's all I'll say.
Interesting. And it's called The Witch and the Beast? Okay.
He's a mage.
Okay.
So it's good. I really, honestly, it's not a typical title I would pick up, but it's really, really, really good. Because it's a new series, I really wanted to try it.
Yeah.
But that line, I can handle this volume, but I think future volumes are going to get a little more than I can handle. So I think I'm going to not continue that one. It was still good.
Sarah, how's your witch history going?
So, well, we're in Salem. Where everything starts is in Salem. And I think, I don't know, maybe I'm just a little bit over it because I read The Witches by Stacey Schiff last week, which is all Salem. So I think I need a little break from the witch trials. So I might actually put this one down for now and come back to it later. Because it's hard. It's hard to read.
Yeah.
I see that.
But I mean, the writing on it is good. So that's one good thing.
That's good. I feel like it's hard to find good nonfiction about stuff, certain things. Those are topics I often struggle with.
Yeah, exactly.
I often feel like I don't know why. I just feel like they're lacking something, or it's overly focused on the same topics. When I feel like there's more to explore.
Oh, absolutely.
So, Laura, how's Danny? How's Danny?
It was good. I skimmed through what I had started. I'm loving her and Zaf. I sort of skimmed to get back to where I was current, and then I read their first kiss, and so I was just sitting there being like, "Oh, okay, we're good." And then my husband walked by, so I was like, and I was like, "Let me read to you," and he's just sitting there doing the in the doorway. So he was a good audience. I'm enjoying it immensely.
Ashley?
So I finished this first volume.
Woo!
It was pretty cute. What I need to start learning how to do is that when I get volumes from the library, I need to check out multiple volumes.
That's all I do. I literally have 10 plus volumes of The Promised Neverland sitting downstairs right now to read. So
I went and bought, it's going to be in my October book haul, but I went and bought the rest of the Nana series and The Promised Neverland.
Yes.
That first volume had me blown. I had not read a manga where my mouth literally hit the floor. because I didn't
Yeah.
see that coming. But then I started
didn't
this
either.
one that I found. Nobu,
Yeah, it's a foodie manga. I don't know
randomly
too
found
much
this
about it
at
other
a-
than it's a foodie manga, but I've heard it's good.
Yeah, it's pretty decent. I've only got a couple of pages into it, but I'll probably end up finishing this one tonight. But it's pretty good.
It looks cute. I like the cover.
That's high praise.
Morgan or Megan? Oh my gosh, brain. Sorry, brain. I read
You're
M
good.
and went to Morgan for whatever reason. Megan.
I have 20 minutes left in How to Date Your Dragon, and I slowly getting through my pole dancer silhouette.
Nice.
Nice.
My friend owns a pole studio, and her birthday's the same day as mine, so I'm trying to finish it so I can deliver it to her on Tuesday.
Nice.
That'll be nice. That's cute. I
Thanks.
love that book, so I'm very excited you're listening to it.
It's really good. I was like, oh, I'm
The
gonna
rest
just
of this
binge
series
all
is-
of them.
Yeah, it's all really good. I am on the last book in that series now, and I've enjoyed my time with it. So
Yeah. I like
Highly
bear
recommend it.
shifters. That's what I've learned. Between reading all of these different shifter books, I like bears the best. Their personalities.
I've read a lot of bear shifters.
The way people write bear personalities
Mhm.
makes me laugh, and I just love them the most.
I like dragon shifters a lot. Those are always
Read the Ruby
interesting.
Day.
Yeah, I've read 3 of them, 2 of the Ruby Dixons. That's how I got started on dragons. So
My first Dragon Shifters was Katie Roberts' Dragon Shifter series that nobody seems to talk about. Just me.
what? I've never
Yeah,
heard
she's
of
got
her.
a whole series of Dragon Shifters. It's got like 5 books in it. Oh no, that's not Katie Robert. I can't read. Katie McAllister.
Okay, I was like, wait.
No, Katie McAllister. I love that series. It's so fun.
I wonder if I've read those. I read Dragon Shifters like when I started reading romance forever ago, and then forgot they existed. And then I was like, oh, I was like looking at a list, and I was like, oh, I've read a bunch of these, and I never even remembered them. It was like Aiken or somebody wrote them.
Mm.
I've never read a dragon shifter.
Dragon
They're fun.
shifters are great.
They're a lot of fun.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, Heather, I think I've read Dragonbound. But I think that was one of my first ones.
I don't know if I read that one.
I can't remember. My brain's gone at this point.
Wait, there are bears in the side
I agree,
changeling series?
Steph. Yeah, it's in the Side Changeling Trinity series, the first
Oh,
book.
okay.
He's a bear shifter, and I really hope we get to spend more time with those bear shifters because we've done a lot with the wolves and the leopards already. So I'm like, let's go spend some time with the bears. I really like how their clan like dynamic is.
Yeah. I read Dragon actually like last week. It was very
I
cool
read it
fantasy.
forever ago. I literally don't remember it.
Yes,
I've-
Silver Silence is the name of the.
Oh,
the
okay,
one
okay.
with the bear shifter.
I gotta
I'm-
get on Side Changeling.
Kathy Lyons has a bear shifter series that I really like too.
Love in the Night has a bear shifter for our group book. So, you know, if you're checking that out, Barista and the Bear.
By Rebel Carter.
Yes.
Ooh.
So
I love bears.
excited! It's gonna be fun.
Okay, I'm sold on Baby Bear Gangsters. What?
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 Yes, there's little baby bear gangsters in the
What?
book where they just like go and wreak havoc all over like in the clan. It's hilarious. I love them so much.
Oh, I'm here
Wow.
for this.
Yes, read
Yes.
Silver Silence. Like it is
Okay.
amazing.
Do I
And
need
it was
the other
on.
book?
It is available through Audible Escape if you can get to it this week.
Ugh, I'm still so sad that Audible Escape
I
is
know.
going away.
I'm already like crying about it.
So
I just
sad.
gave up on my TBR for it, to be honest with you. I was like, I'm going to get through what I get through, and oh well.
And see, I wasn't formally participating, but I've blasted through so many audiobooks this month. It's not
Same.
even funny.
I
I
have
was like,
2.
I'm kind of participating, but I was just like, anything that's on Escape that sounds interesting, I just play it.
Nalani is in a lot of my libraries, which is nice. So I do have that benefit,
Mm-hmm.
surprisingly, in one of my 5 libraries. library. I don't have a problem.
I need
I
to
also
hook
have
up to a
5.
better library network. The one in the neighboring county seems to have more available than my county. So
Yeah, if you
I think
join
I
up.
just might have to pay the $80 it's going to cost me to
Or
be
join
part of
Brooklyn.
that.
That's only $50.
Maybe.
The Brooklyn one's $50 for out of state. It's really not that bad.
Dallas City, you have to live in Dallas City in order to access your stuff. And I was just like, no one lives in Dallas. Like 0 people live in Dallas. Dallas is just buildings for businesses.
Yeah,
People
Dallas
live
doesn't
around
have
Dallas.
anything.
And they're like, you have to live in Dallas. And I was like, well, that sucks. But my partner's family lives in like one of the neighboring cities. And if you live in that city, all the surrounding cities, you can join theirs. So I have like 3 from the Dallas area.
That's nice. That's not too bad. I need to get my brother who's in Dallas to go get a card so I can have it.
Yes. I had my friend in Seattle do that. I'm like, give me your card.
It's so different from seems like from state to state. Even what they decide to do, whether they run by city or whether they run by county. I know here we run by county.
We run by city.
Yeah, so you can, of course, your library card is quote unquote free when you're in that county because you pay taxes in that county. But then you can also get library cards from the other neighboring counties as long as you pay what they estimate their residents are paying in taxes every year, which is where they get that fee from. And usually the higher the fee, the better the selection, to be quite honest with you, because our neighboring county is only $35 and their selection is not as good as our selection at all.
I think Austin is like 150.
My city's library doesn't have any state funding yet.
Okay.
It's so small. So
yeah,
that's why my library is garbage. I still support it in the best way I can.
It's so it's so interesting too with the funding thing too, because like we don't get state funding either. We're strictly county funded, but our county has money. So and the people who live in the county are super invested, and it's such a political thing because unless the residents of the city or the county prove that they're invested in the library, then that city or county will not allot that money out when it comes to distributing taxes throughout the year. So it gets super, super tricky, which is it's that cycle thing where I always feel like my library has nothing. And I'm like, you gotta advocate for your library because if your library doesn't have anything,
I still do. I donate to my library regularly. I check out for my library.
Yeah.
When I found out my donations just get sold.
Yeah,
they
they do.
the
Yeah, they do. So what ends up happening is that I don't think a lot of libraries take donations and put them into circulation. That's a rarity. I don't hear many libraries that do that. So whenever people say stuff like, oh yeah, I'm donating, it's good that you're donating because what we do is we take those books and we do sell them. But the money that is made from those library book sales where people are like, oh yeah, I got books for like $1, $2, all that stuff goes back into library programming. So you are supporting your library, but it's just a way for them to pull money in because they can't. Adding books, like the collection side of a library system, is also super complex. So they can't just add what they want to add to the system. Yeah.
It's so.
I also try to request titles too.
That y'all have to go through for library stuff is ridiculous to me at times.
Yeah.
It blows my mind. I know, because like I'm friends with so many librarians at this point in my life. I have like a collection of them. I have friends who are school librarians. I know people who are in like regular libraries, and I'm just like, I know someone who runs a community college, just like part of their district's library system, and I'm like, I hear all sorts of things. I'm like, I thought I wanted to be a librarian at one point, and I was like, maybe I don't.
I think people always think that's why I always say like people have this one stop perception of librarians, and it's crazy. It is a crazy job to be in. It is a very crazy job to be in.
I see some of the posts that go around in the Facebook groups of librarians on Twitter sometimes because like I follow enough, and I'm like, y'all out here, y'all wild. Like y'all got like y'all need to not be in this job.
Listen, you see and you hear some wild stuff, especially when you work in like if you work on the public side of librarianship, you see some I mean, because literally there is no distinguishing like who can come in and out of your door.
Mhm.
So you see some. I remember one time I got cursed out. I got cursed out one day because this lady, and I've never told this story really. This lady basically, we have a code of conduct that you have to follow. I think most libraries do.
Mhm.
And you can get suspended because you can't come to the public library and do everything that you're going to do. And
You mean I can't watch porn on the computers in the public library?
I had watched a guy literally watch porn on a library computer, okay? Like it is, and to have to go up to him and say, "Excuse me, sir, what you do in your household is your business, but if you're watching porn, you have to leave. You are suspended." But
Oh
this
man.
woman had like cursed one of us out, then she was cursing some teens out. And then like she went in the children's area and was flicking the kids off. So she had indefinite suspension. So she came back on the property and like one of the staff was like, "Hey, Ashley, she's back." And I was like, "Oh God." So I went out on the floor and she was there on the computer. I was like, "Ma'am, you have to leave." And she was like, "I don't have to go anywhere." I said, "You can either leave nicely or I can call the police." And like she sat there, she started cursing me out. She's like, "You're nothing but the big black receptionist." And I was like, "And I will be that, but you've got to go." So I had to call the cops on her so the cops could come and escort her off a library property. When I say that we don't get to sit there and read all day, I mean it. I have had somebody who was in the library and like, she had a nip slip. She was sleeping. And her boob was literally just hanging out. And like I had to go, and you can't touch patrons because that could be legal issues. I literally had to go scream this like, "Hey, can you please wake up?" And like the guy who was sitting in a cubicle by her, he was like, I mean, I don't know what to do. I don't know. He was trying so hard not to look. He was like, "I don't know what to do." It's okay. I'm gonna take care of it. And she literally was like, her whole boob was just hanging out, and she was passed out. So when I say the job is crazy, I genuinely mean the job is crazy.
Truly.
Oh, I can't.
I don't
even
think people
imagine.
realize the like amount of public interaction you have as a public librarian. Like I feel like they truly don't think about that part of it. And I'm like, yeah, I don't think I could do that part.
Yeah, it's crazy. It is crazy.
My college had floors where there were no like people, and they were just stacks of books and then tables at the very end, and they were on like timed light so that no one had to like monitor anything. And there were a lot of people doing a lot of stuff they should not have been doing in those stacks.
Oh yeah.
Oh
I
yeah.
believe it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Academic librarians have it bad with college kids.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. I would definitely not want to work at a college library.
That's why they mostly hire students because they don't want to do it. They got like 2 main heads and the rest of them are students.
They don't want to deal with that.
I believe it, Beth, that bookstores are probably just as nuts to work at.
Yeah.
I feel like you get just as many weird ass questions, interesting things.
Not as a librarian.
It's definitely it's a good service.
Sorry,
I appreciate
it. Trying to interrupt.
I appreciate getting to share my library secrets about having multiple cards, stealing all my friends' cards.
I don't blame you. I mean,
hey,
baby girl has a card that I use.
My thought is if books are being checked out, their library system's being used.
Their numbers.
That gets you more money.
It does.
My friend has read like 2 books
you.
in like the 2 years that I have borrowed his card, so I do not feel bad.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like,
don't feel bad.
I have a group of friends. We all swap library cards. We have a couple of us have bought Brooklyn cards. We share those, and we just keep checking out books. And I'm like, hey, they're getting more numbers out of us because we're heavy users.
So more funding.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, my local library just gets all like pretty much any new YA title I want, I can get, but everything else, like they don't get a lot of romance here, which is surprising. But I feel like they only, which is not a bad thing. They're very good about the teen program here, I think, and like the kids stuff more than like the adults.
Mine gets a
Yeah,
lot
we
of
don't get a
audiobooks.
lot of romance in my library.
And you sounded like none of that. You cannot touch.
It depends on what the library position is.
It does heavily depend upon the library position. So if you start as a library page or library assistant, you do not need to have a master's in library information science. And now some libraries, for accessibility, especially for BIPOC groups, are starting to overlook the MLIS because a lot of BIPOC groups don't have equal access to getting a master's degree as other groups. So now if you have what they're looking for skill set wise, they will hire you without having master's of library information science. That's still not a universal thing. There's only a couple of places that I know that are really, really doing that right now. But for the most part, to have the official title of librarian is where the master starts to come into play. But I know managers of library systems that don't have a master's degree. So it varies. It varies on what type of librarian you are, because if you're in the academic world, you got to have your master's degree. They're not going to bypass
public library
that.
setting, they can have some flexibility.
Yeah. Public library is a lot more flexible. School librarians, media specialists, you have to have a certificate to teach as well as some other stuff behind your belt. So it varies, but public libraries, I think, are probably the most accessible if people want to get their foot in the door. Now, is it easy to get your foot in the door?
No.
No. No, not at all.
For a while to see if anything popped up locally just to give it a go, but I was like, I don't even think I care enough.
My aunt was head of
I don't think I
payroll
can see. I don't have enough of a filter. That is truly.
I tried applying for public library positions, and they were just like, position filled, not you. I was like, okay.
Yeah, my aunt was head of payroll for the Toronto Public Library for 30 years. She couldn't even get me in as a page.
Yeah,
not even over the summer.
That's wild.
Wow.
No.
Yeah.
I think it's just, I don't know, like the job postings I've seen, some of them about like have your master's and become a librarian, like, and go make $15 an hour, if that. I was like,
yeah.
I was
definitely told if I'm looking to make money, not to be a librarian.
No, you don't make money as a librarian.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't.
Sorry, Ashley. Sorry to be like, you don't make money as a but I think
listen, let's put it this way. I make enough, well, because my position has changed drastically too. So I started off as a library assistant level 1, then I moved up to library assistant level 2, which put me at a supervisory position, and then I'm now a librarian. So my pay has jumped.
Oh yeah.
Would I definitely like to be making more money? Of course, but I work in a county where the money is good. So I probably make more than what the average median is for a librarian in the United States. I'm not saying I know I do. That's just because my county pays well. If the county doesn't have funding, they can't afford to pay you that much to begin with. But because my county, I live in a county where people are very, very adamant about library support, that in turn makes us have very valuable positions. But yeah, it does vary. I mean, you got to keep climbing to see good money.
That was like literally minimum wage, not even. And I was like, and you want them to have a master's? Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You want something. Like you're smoking something.
Wow.
It's nothing good. Like you're nuts. It's because that extra master's for library school is expensive.
It is.
I got one master's degree because I got lucky enough to get like funding for it, and it is not a library master's. And I was like, I'm not going back for information sciences. It's not gonna help me.
I was pricing it for a while there, and I was like, I don't know if it's worth it for me right now.
My first master's was paid for too, Megan, and then I went and got a second master's, and like
you only good.
Yeah, and no. I was sitting there. I was about to say, yeah, is he? No. But the only good thing about the student, because I didn't incur student debt with the first one. But this one I did. But the only good thing now is 10 years of service, and it's wiped clean. So,
Yeah.
and I plan on doing my 10 years. I plan on doing my time. So I don't have to pay back those loans like that. Yeah.
No, it's worth it. I feel like you're good at your job, so I don't know.
Oh, thanks, Izzy.
I
never
would like
even
you
see
back
me. I could be horrible. Y'all would never know.
So, like, I think it makes sense. Like, I don't know. Like, the way you talk about books on your channel, I feel like your librarian, like, ship makes sense. I can see that.
It's my passion job. It is definitely my passion job. I think I was saying in one of my latest videos, I feel very blessed to even have the job that I have because it's so freaking competitive. And this is the job that I want for the rest of my life. And it's kind of like, you know, I think, Sarah, I think when y'all were live one day, I had mentioned like when it was I've seen it on two separate ends. I was at one location and they were hiring for a library assistant and it was like 400 applications. Then for my position, it was around 200 applications. And then I got on the hiring side where I was interviewing people for a position and it was just application after application and it's amazing how many people want to work in a library, but I also feel like the field of librarianship doesn't always get the respect that it should get. Because people feel like it's such an easy job and then don't realize how competitive of a field it really is. So it's nice.
All right, we got to wrap up because the dog is downstairs barking at me. God forbid he comes up the stairs. No, he wants to lay on the couch and bark at me to come to him.
Of course.
Sounds about right.
He's the laziest old man ever.
Well, happy 1K, Izzy.
Yes.
Congratulations.
So I still, it doesn't feel real. I don't know how else to explain it. It's weird to see numbers go up. I don't know. It just never feels real.
All I can say is the Rona did great things for my channel this year.
Coronavirus.
People started deep diving YouTube and finding me. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
My channel has more than doubled this year. It's crazy.
Oh, wow. I feel like the romance community blew up this year.
I think the romance community, we are in a boom right now. It's not a bad thing.
Because everybody's looking for feel-good, happy books.
Yeah, exactly.
Crap.
I think I went up over 800 so far this year, so that's pretty wild.
Good for you. That's great.
That did not expect it. Literally, like, this was my, like, if I hit this in December, that'll be cool goal, not my, like, oh shit, it's October and we're doing it. It was not in my,
that's how my goal this year was to hopefully hit 3K because that would double my channel. Oh, and now I'm like at almost 3,300 in October. It's crazy.
That's great, y'all.
Oh, did the peppers come up after all?
No, Boober.
Oh, come here. No. It's going to take a minute. He's so big. Oh!
Y'all have really flourished this year, though. Just the romance community in general. Y'all have flourished.
Yeah, I'm really excited at how many people are wanting to read romance. Okay, I picked him up. Ooh, that was a lot of work, guys.
As a watcher, I was super excited to see like more people in the community. That's what made me want to like start because I was a streamer and I was like, I want to do book stuff because no one reads books like in my circle.
Yeah, that was the thing. I was like, when I came in, I feel like it was almost 3 years ago now that I started my channel, but I didn't really like take it seriously till last summer. And it was like Steph and Jess, and that was it. Like that was like all you could find. And then I slowly like found Sarah and I started finding more people, but like it was so hard to find people because it just is flooded with YA, which is fine. I like YA.
I did in the booktube space for a long time. People didn't take romance reading seriously.
They did
for sure.
And now that the audience of booktube has matured and the creators of booktube have matured, more of them are starting to explore romance. And so they found romance booktubers and it's just kind of snowballing that way.
Yeah. You've had your channel for a while.
Yes,
I feel like
since
you've watched a lot of
2014. Yeah. So
I've had mine for
Wow.
5 years.
yeah.
I'll be
so
5
I've-
years in
Wow.
January.
I've seen a lot of
Wow.
I've seen a lot of it change, the ways of it change,
Mhm.
because it has very much so been a YA centric community. But like Shay was saying, the biggest creators within the community are now older. So with that, you see a change. Not saying that YA still isn't prominent, because it very much so is.
Mhm.
But they're
now
starting to
you-
explore more.
Yes, now you see the exploration. I mean, I've seen people now delving into like more of the adult literary fiction, thrillers, mysteries, all that type of stuff. I've seen more people looking at graphic stuff, whether that's manga, comics, or graphic novels. That, all of that stuff has changed now over the course of the year. So hopefully, as the years go on, we continue to see
That's what I'm
more
hoping.
inclusion of different genres.
Mhm.
Well, I don't want to say
The
different
manga
genres.
community is
Target.
still very like male centric.
Is it
honestly.
still? Yeah.
Like the manga space is a dude space. Unlike BookTube, that's a female centered space a lot of the
It
time.
is.
The manga
It
space is very dude centered. You see the same series on all the guys' channels when they're doing their hauls and stuff. But there's a few creators like me who are starting to stand out a little bit more and get found a little easier because there are more girls who are reading manga and they're wanting more romance centered mangas. So people are finding my channel through like my collection and things like that. And they're like, oh, your connection's so unique for this community. I'm like, well, it's because it's a dude space. And my collection is very much not a dude collection. I mean, look how pretty behind me is. These are all not dude-centered titles. But like a guy could read them and still enjoy them.
I know a lot of guys who like Oron High School Host Club, I will say.
It's true. Oron is like a classic rite of passage.
Yes.
Whether it's manga or anime, it's a rite of passage in that community.
It is. I agree.
It was one of my first animes. It was in my first 10 that I watched.
Mine was 100%.
And I have my box set down here in the corner.
Mine's Fruits Basket, and that's the only manga I own the entire set for.
I've got my Fruits Basket set right here.
Love.
See, that got me when I found Shades like with manga. I was so excited to like have more people that read manga because I felt like everyone reads like more of the horror stuff and less of the romance manga.
Yeah, like I say, I'm squeamish. Like this one almost had me not okay.
Oh no.
So that's why I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna keep going with this one.
Yeah.
I'll probably like give that away in a giveaway. I probably won't keep it in my collection.
I do see more exploration of like comics in this community.
I know. I just keep forgetting to go to my comic store because it's like 30 minutes away, and so I just keep forgetting to go.
I think there's still though this this blurring of understanding the difference between comics and graphic novels, which I think is kind of causes an issue sometimes. But I wish there was more, like, because like in the manga sphere, in the comic sphere, like anybody that I watch, very much male dominated. Like and it's just kind of hard because it's like you definitely all read the same stuff. You all read the same stuff.
I do read a lot of comics though, rather than like buying physical comics. I read a lot.
Oh yeah, webtoons is life.
I love regular comics. I struggle
Well, if
with
you
people call them the wrong
want
thing.
smutty manhwa, you want to check out Lezen.
Yeah,
because if you do it through the browser, they don't censor it because they can like get like your credentials and make sure you're old enough for it. So on an app, it's easier to not worry about that. But
yeah,
does that explain the difference between comics and graphic novels?
Yeah, I get annoyed. Like I feel like people mix it up all the time on BookTube. And
They do.
And I try to always keep
probably
it
guilty
straight
of it.
because like I was 100% a like I used to have a pull list at a comic shop. Sarah, are you dying right now?
Yeah, let's Sarah, you look bored.
I know nothing about any of this.
Oh, okay. I don't want to like bore you to death, but like so I had a pull list for a very long time at comic shops. And I just kind of got out of it because of the cost, right? Like it's very, very cost prohibitive. But yeah, I cringe every time someone's like, this is a graphic novel. And I'm like,
I don't like, no, it's not.
That's a comic bind up.
It's a comic.
But I understand that you're just like shorthanding the same, like you just think it's all shorthand for the same thing, and it's. Like,
I'm probably
it's not.
guilty of that, and I'm
It's
sorry.
It's okay. I've done it. I'm not saying like I've never done it. I've
Wait,
totally done it.
Is The Walking Dead comics?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh yeah, then I totally just misjudge everything. Sorry,
you know,
ignore my
it's-
last video where I talked about graphic novels that are actually comics.
It's because of the fact that people look at, and it's a very common mistake. Like I see it all the time on BookTube, and because I'm such an avid comic reader, for me internally it makes me cringe. But I also know that everyone doesn't always understand the difference between the two, because when you look at a trade paperback, I mean, it's easy to say, oh yeah, this is a graphic novel because it's bound up, but comics are serialized. So they come out in issues. And when you look at those trade paperbacks, you're only getting a portion of the story. So that's a graphic novel.
That's a graphic novel, right?
That's a graphic novel.
Story.
Oh, okay.
It has a middle, a beginning, and
excellent
end.
graphic novel. If you haven't,
That
The
is a
giant
comic.
posters.
that's a comic.
Then this is a comic, and I totally
That is a
did not
comic.
say that this was a comic. This is
Yes.
a good comic if you
So-
like gore.
There's different issues within the bind up. That would be a
Yes.
comic. Is the
A
best way
comic.
to differentiate. Also, they're usually like skinny little things. The bind ups. They're not.
Graphic novels tend to be thicker.
Yeah.
But you can
Not
get-
always.
You can not always, because you can get huge trade collections.
That's
like
true. I have that giant saga thing.
Yeah, Saga has those huge, and it's still a comic book. It's just they have put.
It's just an
different
overly large
arcs in the story.
omnibus.
Yes, exactly. There you go, Shay. That's the word I was looking for. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, graphic novels are like more one shot.
One shot. Yeah, they are.
I feel like they can
Note
be
yourself. Change title of video.
You're fine. Everyone does it. Like it's just it's literally just that thing that like if you read comics at all, you're like cringe. No.
And like,
But then you're like, I understand also because I know that this person doesn't read this.
Yes, and it's so interesting too, because I see videos that are like graphic novel. Sorry, Megan, this is not.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
But graphic novel recommendations, and then I watch the video and I'm like, "Ooh, honey, that's like 10 comic book series. I love what you're doing here, but they're
Probably all make
too.
sense.
They're too.
Maybe you should
separate.
do a video on the differences between graphic novels and comics and
There's an
educate
idea.
people.
Yeah.
That's what
an
should
idea.
happen.
Yes.
Ash is like, it's on my list, probably.
It is on my list, actually. It was on my- I just
Nice.
haven't had the time to film at all.
Right. So as soon as you upload that video, I will share it to everybody and say, please educate yourself.
Say,
Ashley will help you.
so I stop screaming in my head while you all things the wrong thing. It's fine. It's that thing where I think people just shorthand it for the same thing,
Mhm.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's totally right. Learning, it's a continuous thing. Like we all
It-
learn
exactly.
new things all the time.
If you aren't learning, that's no fun. That's a pretty
Yeah.
boring life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I just I have the same problem.
I made a really great
Actually
group
read
of friends.
outside of romance this week. I'm very proud of myself.
Yay! I
read
made a really good
Queen
group
the
of ladies.
Conquered by Case and Calendar. It was fantastic. I really enjoyed it.
Oh, okay.
That is a good one. I like
It's
it.
a Caribbean-based fantasy, and it almost has like an "and then there were none" kind of murder mystery feel to it wrapped in there. It was a good time, and the sequel comes out soon, so I'm excited for that.
I've got that one on my list. I'm very curious about it. Laura, what were you saying? Sorry.
Oh, my husband read comics for years and had regular polls every time he went to the comic shop, and I was like, oh, "You spend how much money?" I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
And he was constantly wanting me to help like bag and board, and I was like, "How many of these did you actually read?" Anyway, the point is that they started a women's group that was focusing. They rotated between independent published graphic novels and comics, and the goal was illustrators or authors who were women, and that's how I connected with a really cool group of people, women, and there's some really good friends, and everyone's super nerdy. And I went in thinking, I'm like, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm like a 5 for nerdy, and then I met all these people, and I'm like, oh God, I'm like a 1. Okay. you all. I mean, it was great. It's a great group of ladies, but they definitely educated me a lot about comics. And I find the world of comics extremely intimidating just based on volume and like content. And I'm just like, I'm going to stay over here.
A lot of people feel that way about manga too. I mean, I can't even tell you how often I'm asked pretty basic questions about manga on a regular basis. And that's okay. I don't mind answering the questions. And if I have a video, I always tell the person, oh, I talk about it in depth in this video. Why don't you go check that out? So that I'm not having to like repeat myself all day long every day. But almost every day I'm getting some sort of comment with some sort of manga question, or I'm getting a DM, and I don't mind. I like to help people learn. And I'll link whatever I can to help people, because knowledge is power. The more you know, the better off you are.
Yeah.
And a lot of that was just kind of stumbling and learning on my own too. Because I went into it pretty organically. I mean, you could watch my entire manga journey on my channel, because I don't like ever private my videos. I've kept everything as is, because I'm like, this is me, this is my journey. If you don't like it, don't watch my old stuff.
Yeah.
And so like you see my collection grow from the first volume I ever bought to the 1,000+ volume collection behind me.
Yeah.
While collecting books along the way. I'm insane.
Yeah, I don't envy you moving.
I'm so glad my husband hasn't divorced me over my book buying habit.
I think that like Shay, Izzy, and I are close in age, like 30-ish. And I feel like manga when I was in middle school and high school was definitely like looked down on. It was definitely a male thing, like a, boys kind of thing. It was definitely it was like considered to be, very like risque, like, oh, what are you reading over there? Like
I tell you, to this day, people in my state assume that manga is porn.
I don't see. I was reading manga in high school. I was, but okay, like I was talking about this. Like I was skateboarding, I was playing rugby, I was like going to the punk rock shows. I was dating dudes with mohawks.
I was the girl who hid in hoodies and jeans. I hid all my femininity in high school.
5'1" of me in high school. Like I didn't hit 5'3" until like sophomore year. So I was like not.
You're taller than me.
I was not like, of any like I was like, whatever, I'm doing whatever the fuck I want. And I don't know, like it wasn't a big thing really where I was if you did or didn't. I feel like it was more the nerdy kids, and I was like the weird. I mean, in Chicago, I was the weird punk with like the weird friends, and then in Georgia, I was like, they're like, wait, what? You played what? Like they had rugby teams there, and I'm like, yeah, we played rugby in Chicago, and they're like, you can play lacrosse here, and I was like, can you hit people? And they're like, no, it's not allowed in girls lacrosse. And I was like, well, I'm not playing that sport. That's bullshit. Like, what? And I was like, yeah, if I can't hit somebody, I'm not going to play. I was a very rough and tumble 5'1" feisty thing. I don't know. I survived it. I don't know how. Don't know how.
We're book nerd Teddy.
Yeah, I was just it wasn't super weird though where I was for mangas for some reason. I think maybe I was oblivious though, to be honest, because I was not running in the crowds that gave a shit. We were out there just like, this is dumb. We're teens and we're just doing our thing. My library, we're probably gonna get the cops called on us, to be honest, because that's the kind of kids we were. But it's fine.
No, my library YA section expanded throughout my lifetime. Thank you, Harry Potter. Thank you, Hunger Games. Like all of the like, I remember being 10 and being like, we had like up to 5th grade and Goosebumps, and then there was like one shelf of miscellaneous young adult, and then it was just all the adult. And then like throughout the early 2000s and 2010s,
it was me, like young adult fiction is like Sweet Valley High and Fear Street from Girls. Like that was
That was my generation.
Right. And so, but like when the library that I most often frequented put in one manga shelf, like in with the YA section as it expanded, but like I never knew what to get. It all looked the same. I remember picking one up and just kind of flipping through it. And I was like, whoa. You have to read this backwards? Forget it. I'm out. And
that's the other thing that intimidates a lot of people about manga is the flipped format. But like, once I read my first volume of manga, like the flipped format didn't bother me at all. Like I'm pretty lucky that way, I guess. And so after I got used to it in that first volume, I'm like, oh, I get it. Okay, I can do this. Because I bought one of like an anime I'd already seen. I bought the first volume of Fairy Tail. And then from there, once I figured out I liked the format, I'm like, okay, what other stories can I find here? And I found some really great ones. Like the first series I ever finished was Let's Dance a Waltz. It's a really cute shoujo manga about ballroom dancing. And it's cute.
That's really cute.
Yeah, it was just really cute. I really liked it.
Yeah, I was gifted the first like 3 volumes of Fruits Basket in college by a young woman who loved manga and was like, "Oh my god, like read all this!" And I tore through Fruits Basket, but I just never like really knew where to go from that. So I've barely forayed back in. You know,
I will help you.
Yeah,
I know. I'm like, I will recommend all of the good things.
Of manga,
all of the romance things. I will do that. So when it comes to romance manga, I probably read the most of it compared to any other creator. Just because I don't really like the horror or the thriller stuff. Like, I'm too squeamish. I'm a wimp. I can't do it. So I live in happy, fluffy shoujo land. I'm okay with it.
I love shoujo land.
I like that. It's the best place to be. It's like just adjacent of romance.
But I also
land.
love my good political fantasies in my shoujo because they do them good. Some of my favorites are the political.
Star-crossed rugby players, I feel like, between Sarah and Shannon over here.
Well, we live maybe 30 minutes from each other. We're roughly the same age, so we were just contemplating that we may have played against each other at some point.
I didn't realize you played rugby too, Sarah.
No.
Look, I made it a season. I made it the first year our team started, and then my parents moved me to Georgia, and I was very mad. I was very angry. It was the first time I liked a sport. Literally, like it was the first sport I ever liked. My brother was the athlete. I was not. I was like, I'm out.
I didn't do sports. I did color guard, but that was the big thing at my high school.
I got recruited to play baseball when I was in public school because I can pitch. My dad taught me to pitch. And my cardiologist is like, no. You're the pitcher.
No,
You're going to have balls hurled at you.
I hit into class regularly, so I did not
get comment. Oh my gosh. Go sports ball.
But I could play rugby.
I played co-ed soccer.
Nice.
Yeah, that was fun.
That'd be fun, but
yeah, it was fun.
Like I can't run. I did gymnastics and diving.
Ooh, diving.
I just liked tackling people, okay? Like it was really fun to be like this tiny person just
I'm just picturing her just
I got invited to play in the Powder Puff games, but I'm like, I'm gonna hurt people. So no, I'm not gonna play.
Yeah, no, it was really fun to like move our coach that was like a 260 some pound man when we had to practice, and I would move him and I was like, yeah. Fucking big. Meanwhile, my partner's like, all right, calm down, shorty. Like, go sit down. you can stop being like I'll be like, I'm so strong. And he's like, okay. And he just like walks away from me. It's just like, oh my god. I was like, I picked it up. It was heavy.
Shannon, it was cool. It was cool playing against. It was cool playing against some of the guys because I feel like they push you to your limit. And then, of course, being young and a teenager, you know, you had guys who were like, you know, you're a girl. You're a girl. There was one boy that we played. Well, I mean, we played his whole team. But he kept trying to small talk me on the field. And I was a pretty aggressive child. Yeah, like I was a pretty aggressive child. I had some pent up things going on there. And I remember like I literally ran through him and didn't stop until I heard people from the sideline saying, Ashley, stop, because apparently the ref had blew the whistle and I was like, I didn't hear it and knocked the poor kid out. And I mean, it just made me feel so good on the inside because he was, I mean, in my ear the entire game, just yapping. And I was like, there's gotta be a legal way for me to handle this kid. And sure enough, there was. I didn't get carded, so
You did it. I'm proud of
I
you.
I didn't get carded.
Keep you just running through this guy.
It just ran right through him.
It's the best.
I did competitive Quidditch for like a year in college.
That's awesome.
It's co-ed, full contact. So like all of these guys who were ex-football players were playing against kids who just were nerdy and loved Harry Potter. And it was very interesting to like see the dichotomy. But
I attempted to get my husband to go to the Quidditch team at Clemson when he attended, and he would not do it. And he
went to Clemson?
Yes, he did.
Ew.
Okay, the team's not called the Cocks. Like, come on.
I'm a proud cock, okay?
Yes, he went to Clemson. Unfortunately, I know it's a big divisive thing in this state. It was the one school he didn't get into when he was 16, so he had to go back when he went back to school. Like, it was that whole
nothing
victory lap.
there. That's like cow tipping city.
I don't disagree with you. I didn't live there while he went to school. I stayed here. We're up by Charlotte. Like,
yeah.
For a reason. But
it's not Oklahoma City. There's nothing in OSU.
Clemson's
That's
pretty
Stillwater.
empty.
Stillwater, Oklahoma.
I mean, where I went to school
Nothing.
outside Savannah is also pretty empty. I went in Statesboro, Georgia, at Georgia Southern, and there's not a lot there either.
Oh no!
But we were known for our parties. It's fine. Literally, everyone's like, "You're the party school." I'm like, "It's not UGA. It is not the party school, y'all."
UGA is a mess.
Yeah. No.
Arizona State is a huge party school.
It is. Yeah. It was just funny in a tiny school being told you're the party school. And I'm like, I have friends who go to the UGA, like go up to UGA on the weekends and then tell us about how they got lost because they were so drunk. Like, I think we're good. But yeah, he went to Clemson and I tried. And let me put it this way. I don't allow him to wear sports clothing out of the house because we get stopped by dudes who want to talk to him about football. And I got sick of it. I was like, you are not allowed to wear college gear anymore.
First of all, they only recently got good. From 2009 to 2013, they were getting their ass waxed by those cocks. Okay? All right?
I mean, I know you're just salty that y'all always lose the game.
No. I don't attend that school anymore. So what they do is none of my business anymore. But from 2009, I was there, Izzy, for the game where we beat Alabama. I was in the stands for that game with the blackout. Yeah. So I was there for that reign.
Oh yeah.
Of the good old cock nation. But after that, I just own them.
Yeah, I get it. It's very contentious. I mean, that's me in Georgia Southern. Like, we're not doing great anymore. But I was there the year they like whooped some ass. So, like it's cool. Like we whooped ass while I was there, and then I left, and I'm like, that's fine. Y'all are done being really bad at football. Yeah, I really wanted him to play Quidditch at Clemson. I thought it was going to be fucking hilarious. I was not having it, and it's probably a good thing if it's full contact. I don't know if that would have gone well.
Yeah,
sorry, Beth.
Our 6 foot ex football or soccer or something captain got his collarbone just obliterated by this little 5'3" chick from New Orleans, University of New Orleans. So their stuff said Uno, and I thought that was funny. Him breaking his collarbone was not funny, but
I'm here for it. I would have been like,
and he just went and broke his collarbone. First
I heard
game.
That's a very painful break.
Yeah,
I would think so.
It also takes forever to heal because it's not attached to anything.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah, but did he catch the snitch?
Wow, Laura.
No. Also, the snitch is it's a person who usually runs cross country. Like every single snitch I've talked to was like, yeah, I ran cross country in high school. And I was like, that makes sense. There was one who literally, the snitches are off field for the first 5 or 10 minutes of the game. And this one, the minute he came on field, ran and jumped through one of the hoops, did like a forward roll, and then just sprinted away. It was so weird because they can do anything they want. They can go wherever they want.
I feel like to watch like people play Quidditch is probably the thing of like mind-boggling. Like, what the fuck?
It's so
like
Yeah.
the Harry Potter kids just like we're like, we gotta do it. We gotta do it.
So
and they just
weird.
made the weirdest game ever. Every time I see clips of it, I'm like, no, I can't.
Yeah.
Yep.
I can't. But knowing it's full contact now, I need to go watch some more clips.
Yeah, it is.
Like,
I
Yeah.
think like the other thing you can't do is you can't like drop your shoulder.
Yeah,
Other than
I
that,
get that.
Whatever.
that makes
And then the
sense.
Stitch can torture anyone, so they'll just take people's like PVC pipes that they pretend are broomsticks, and they'll just start leading them around by their broomstick because you have to get to the back.
People carry PVC pipes and pretend.
You have to have like a broomstick between your legs because you're
You
like
do. You have
riding
to have it
the
between your legs at
broomstick.
all times.
You have to
'cause
like
you're
run.
flying.
You have to run as like with your broomstick
run
between
like
your
you're
You have
legs.
to run with your PVC pipe between your legs. We used to play with like metal brooms, and then every time someone would fall, it'd like snap the broom in half whenever they got massively tackled. So now we play with PVC pipes because they're harder to break.
Crazy.
I think I like
Actually,
it.
Sometimes
Way.
it's
I need,
I
to
don't
go
know.
find- I need to find out if Columbia, if USC has a game of Quidditch happening anytime soon, so I could just like roll up on it.
Listen,
They also have
they
community
had. I
Quidditch.
feel like they had. I felt like they had a Quidditch team when I was in school, but you know, that campus and the amount of students that go there is astronomical. So I wouldn't be surprised if they still have a Quidditch team going on there. Shoot, they had a skydiving team.
UT had two. They had two Quidditch teams. They had like their varsity and their junior varsity, basically Quidditch
They
teams.
they do have a Quidditch team.
Carolina.
Cool. Yep, they do.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, I'm not
closer to me than
surprised.
Clemson.
I'm,
So,
I'm not surprised at all.
you know, maybe one day when this virus is over,
Right, and then when you come, just let me know.
I will, and we can go watch a Quidditch game. we can we'll sneak some stuff in a cup. It's fine.
Right.
And then we'll have
You got your happy flask that you'll hide?
Yes, exactly. Hey, you don't know what's in this cup. I could have been drinking straight vodka all night. You wouldn't even know.
I swear it's water.
Come on. If it's high enough proof, you won't smell it. It's cool. It's just fruit punch.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
I need to put that on my water bottle, just in quotes, water.
At an office that I work at, they had the water cooler in the back, and they had like the blue and the red, like for hot and cold. The smart asses in the back put water, vodka, and labeled them. So, you know,
Yeah.
just cause.
Love it.
I like
Why
it.
not, right?
Why not?
Who doesn't need a little vodka to get through their day?
God. I'd be under my desk asleep.
I would too. Honestly, I'm such a lightweight, but it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine. It's not a bad thing.
I-
All right.
I saw a picture like at the start of quarantine stuff where someone just taped the string from a tea bag to their mug on the inside. And she was like, now it looks like I'm drinking tea when I'm on my Zoom calls. It's not tea.
Ingenious.
Yeah.
I mean, I would just make hottie toddies at that point. Like no one
Oh,
would
yeah.
know. It's fine.
No one would know.
No one would know.
No one would know. It's perfect. All right. Well, we'll wrap this up. I do probably need to go to sleep at some point. / I'm tired. So who knows
Sometimes
what I'm
it's good to
about.
live in one of the later time zones.
I really do.
Types of things.
Boy, howdy, you all don't want my even less filtered filter. Go on. Because now I'm self-conscious about it, so it's fine. It's fine.
Like I say, we love you that you're unfiltered. That's why we love you.
He keeps commenting all these weird things I say, and I'm like, shit, I do say.
And
this.
I just sit here in my house and laugh while I watch it because I'm like, it's just such an Izzy thing to say. I love it. We just need to call it Izzyism.
And so do 1,000 other people.
I know
Mhm.
that's
Yeah.
the weirder part of it
Exactly.
all.
Mm-hmm.
That's the weirder part. I'm like, okay, I mean, what else? If you find it funny, that's cool. That's the whole point of it, just to have fun. So
Mhm.
thank you guys so much for hanging out and celebrating with me. I really appreciate it.
was
It
so
would not
fun.
be the same without people joining me, to be honest, because this is why I joined the community, was to make friends and to like hang out with cool people
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day. And it was just delightful. So thank you everyone. If you need links for anyone's channel, everyone is linked down below. And if they're not, they're going to yell at me and I will add their link because who knows what I did 3 hours ago, 4 hours ago when I set that up. So thank you all so much for joining and celebrating with me in the broadcast. Bye, y'all.
Bye.